Hello, everyone. My name is Marcelo Bondurant, and I'm the Scoutmaster for Troop 924. I'm also the Commissioner for Pack 970. And for those of you who like history, I've been a Scout leader since my son started first grade in 2007. So I have been on many paths in the last 15 years. It's great to be with you tonight. I've also been lucky enough to be the MC for this event for enough years now that I actually can't remember anymore when I started. So it's been a long time. So many of you have heard from me for many years. It's good to see all of you again. I'm glad you're here with us this evening. So I'd like to welcome you all to our Potawatomi Volunteer Recognition Dinner. Tonight we come together for fun and fellowship and a chance to recognize the time and talents of our volunteers that have given over 3,000 youth, as well as to each other in 2021. I'd like to start by introducing Mary Wadley, our Potawatomi Commissioner, and a member of our District Dinner Committee who will be leading us in a moment of remembrance.
We want to take a moment in silent remembrance for those members of our scouting family whom we have lost this past year. May we be reminded of the eternal spirit of scouting that burned in the hearts of those who have now moved past this life and into a new journey. May we also carry the flame in our own hearts to remember and honor them.
So it's wonderful to see so many of you here to recognize our outstanding Scouters and another year of excellence in Scouting. Without your dedication and sacrifice, we would not have nearly as much to celebrate. So first of all, please give yourselves a round of applause. And lastly, please join me in extending your gratitude to our District Dinner Committee, Karen Pinelli, Ann Young, and Mary Wadley for putting together the event. Thank you, ladies, for all your hard work. This event takes a lot of planning, and your efforts are very much appreciated. So now I'd like to introduce our Northeast Illinois Council Scout Executive, Nick Roberts, who has a message.
Hi, I'm Nick Roberts, Scout Executive and CEO of the Northeast Illinois Council, and it is great to be with the Potawatomi District again tonight as we celebrate the achievements of 2021. We recognize our volunteer efforts that have been made, and we look forward to all the good things coming to the district and to the Northeast Illinois Council in 2022. I want to take a moment to congratulate tonight's District Award of Merit recipients, Peter Hall, Paul Bowerschmidt, and Kathleen Schmidt. I salute you for all of your efforts and what you're doing to make the scouting program a success in our communities. 2021 had a lot of achievements, and I want to also recognize, as we kicked off 2022, the awesome Klondike Derby that the Potawatomi District hosted just a few weeks ago. We also have a lot of exciting events coming up in 2022 to look forward to. We have our Cub Scout day camps that are coming to the Potawatomi District. We have our Cub Family Weekends. I also want to highlight the good things that are coming in 2022 related to the program offered to our Cub Scout families and Scouts BSA families in the district. The Klondike Derby was just hosted by the Potawatomi District, and you guys did an unbelievable job at being able to get that program back and running after taking a year off. Our Cub Scout day camps are coming back to the district to be held within the Potawatomi District later this summer. Our Akela camp that will be hosted at the Makajuan Scout Reservation. Our Cub Family Weekends that will be up at Camp Solar Crown in Trevor, Wisconsin, as well as our Cub Camporee. So all of those can be registered for online at neic.org. For our Scouts and the Scouts BSA program, don't forget, Makajuan 2022 is just around the corner, and it is going to be one unbelievable, unforgettable summer. Last, I want to thank all of the families for your participation in this year's Compass Point campaign. Rebranded what used to be known as Friends of Scouting, our annual appeal is a way for our families to contribute back to Scouting to invest in the future and success of the Northeast Illinois Council. And I say thank you for that generous contribution that you've made. As we close out, I just want to say, as we bounce back from the COVID pandemic of 2020 and 2021, as the rates continue to drop and things continue to improve, not only in our county, but also in our region, there's a lot of good things coming about, and we're going to need your help. Our Cub Scout program continues to need additional support as we recruit new volunteers, and Scouting needs you. And that's what we're asking for tonight. So as you're looking for ways to be able to give back, look at what you can give of your time, because the Cub Scout program needs your support in order to ensure that we'll continue to impact lives in our communities for the better. Thanks, and good Scouting.
All right, thank you. So next up, let me introduce our Potawatomi District Commissioner, Mr. Chunk Pine.
Thank you, Marcelo, for that introduction. I want to thank our excellent leadership team for their hard work in 2021. I'm here to present our Commissioner Awards for the Potawatomi District. The first award is the Distinguished Commissioner Award. Recipients of the Distinguished Commissioner Award must have been a commissioner for at least 5 years, fully trained in the position, be familiar with the leadership of the assigned units, and be active within those units. In addition, at least 90% of their assigned units must complete their charter on time, and at least 50% have earned Journey to Excellence awards. For anyone in this room that has been responsible for your unit's charter, you understand how much work it takes just for one charter, so this is no easy feat. These commissioners have given many years of time and talent to Potawatomi. We are pleased to present Dexter Bailey with this award. Good job, Dexter. Next up, the Aschenbrenner-Whitkins Outstanding Commissioner Award. The Aschenbrenner-Whitkins Outstanding Commissioner Award was established in Potawatomi District to honor Gary Aschenbrenner and Al Whitkins. These two commissioners established a legacy of dedication and service to their units in Potawatomi, and the recipient selected as a commissioner who gives outstanding service to the Potawatomi District. This year, we present this award to Larry Young. Larry has given tirelessly to the Potawatomi District and to our commissioner team. Thank you, Larry, for your dedication to Potawatomi and for serving youth in our area. And that's it for the Commissioner Awards. I'll now turn the microphone back over to Marcelo.
Thank you very much, Chuck. I appreciate it. So I'm going to go through a variety of awards now where we start to talk about our direct service leaders who work directly with Scouting. And as somebody named Marcelo Bondurant, I'd like to apologize in advance for how badly I'm going to murder all of your names, but I will do my best. And for those of you who I don't get quite right, know that I share with you the joy of having a special name that people don't quite get. All right, so now that we've recognized our district service volunteers, it's important that we acknowledge those that serve the front line of Scouting, our outstanding unit level volunteers. The Unit Committee Service Awards honors our committee members working behind the scenes, performing special and often unsung tasks, acting as a treasurer, a camping chair, an advancement chair. They work directly with our youth, ensuring our continued enjoyment and success in Scouting, often through lots and lots of paperwork, follow-up, and working with parents and families. So our Unit Committee Service Awards are as follows. Alicia Barch, Greg Bedell, Beth Beeler, John Desmond, Jim Donovan, Brian Dunning, Isaac Getz, Steve Girth, Chris Gazon, Beth Gazon, Rob Gottschall, Sarah Isles, Henry Jacobs, Russell Kelso, Elizabeth Betsy Kelroy, Colin Cockman, Margaret Luttrell, Robert Lepley, Sharon Myers, Dean Mueller, Jeanette Ortiz-Alexander, Beth Otzen, Grace Poe, Adam Polachek, Mark Pasternak, Sonesh Shah, Tim Schmidt, Paul Wesseman, and Betsy Ziegler. Please give these folks a round of applause, and thank you, leaders. Thank you very much. Next, I'd like you to recognize our unit leaders who have received the District Leader Service Award. So the Direct Leader Service Award recognizes registered leaders who work directly with Scouts and venturers. These folks walk alongside their Scouts throughout the program, ensuring their continued success and growth. The Direct Leader Service Awards allows units to acknowledge their own leaders for commitment, initiative, and dedication to providing a quality scouting experience. So the award winners are Ann Barnes, Will McGrath, Matthew Basinger, Karen McLeod, Ryan Bond, Steve McNelly, Tony Bondi, Jonathan Meeks, Travis Cronkite, Brian Mahaffey, Jim Fink, Patrick Morin, Simon Goldbrock, James Murphy, Mike Judy, Mike Pfeiffer, Mike King, Mark Ponsack, David Schwartzberg, Doug Kistner, Stacy Sunderland, Dave Kruger, Greg Lev, Brent Vorhog, Ursula Lewandowski, and Sarah Young. Let's have a round of applause for our district leaders, and thank you all for all you do for Scouting. So now, if you're thinking, hey, wait a minute, I have a great leader in my unit that deserves one of these awards, then your job, I can get it on the camera, your job is to get their nomination into the district staff as early as possible next year so we can make sure that we recognize them in this ceremony next year. All right, so now for the Scouters Training Award. So the Scouters Training Award can be earned by unit leaders who have served Scouting faithfully through a tenure of 2 years or more. They've completed position-specific training, as well as the This is Scouting training, and they've guided their unit to certain benchmarks, including earning at least a bronze in the Journey to Excellence. They must also attend a Scouting university during each year of their tenure, participate in an annual Scout planning meeting, and participate in at least one additional supplemental or advanced training event at the council level or higher. A Scouters Training Award demonstrates that the leader has made a commitment not only to improve their understanding of Scouting, but also a commitment to ensuring that their unit is healthy and well-performing. So this year's Scouters Training Award recipients are Rob Eckert, Andrew Alexander, Matthew Morgan, Sarah Young, and Matthew Basinger. So now the Unit Award of Merit. Now this is a time to honor our most outstanding direct leaders. The Unit Award of Merit is the highest nationally recognized honor that can be given to a Cub Master, a Scout Master, or a crew advisor. They must participate in at least one additional supplemental or advanced training at the council level. These leaders are the lifeblood of Scouting. They serve as mentors to their Scouts, advisors to parents, and representatives to their chartering organizations and their communities. These leaders are deeply committed to the values of the Scouting program and have created a legacy within their units that future Scouts will benefit from. This year's recipients include Andrew Alexander, Raymond Makika, Christine Randolphi, Dr. Alan Sanders, John Shabika, Nicholas Wallen, Matthew Morgan, and Fernando Sosa. Congratulations to all, and a round of applause. And now the Key Scouter Award. The Key Scouter Award recognizes Scout leaders who've gone well beyond their required training. These leaders have completed position-specific training at the council level, and they've given leadership to units that earn the silver level or beyond in a journey to excellence. The recipients for this year are Matthew Morgan, Andrew Alexander, Ann Young, and Chuck Pint. Please join me in a round of applause for these outstanding Scouters. So the awards committee has asked me to insert a shameless plug here, which I'm pretty good at. So if you're thinking to yourself that you or a fellow leader qualifies for this award, please note that you must submit this award. Just like everything else in scouting, there's paperwork to be filed. And in fact, I would say that I may, after 15 years, have missed out on the chance to get my name on this list. So I'll plan for 20 and make sure that I get listed there. But you need to make sure that you get yourself on this list if it's appropriate for you. All right, the Veteran Service Awards honors leaders who've stayed in the program for increasing increments of time, often continuing after their own children have aged out of the program. It recognizes a sustained commitment to the scouting program. So I'll do these in the blocks of years earned. So first of all, with 55 years, Eric Robeson. For 35 years, 3 folks, we've got Keith Ross, Steve Merle, and Terry McCammon. At 30 years of service, John McConnell, Ken Morrison, Steve Schwab, and Tom Goldblatt. 25 years, we've got quite a group. It's George Sullivan, John Phelan, Keith Lewandowski, Ray Makika, Reed Schneider, Robert Krause, and Robert Krause. At 20 years, Brian Abbott, Kurt Nurnberg, Jonathan Martin. At 15 years, Rich Hill, Amy McJoint, Saigo Fuji, Andy Saigo Fuji, and me, Marcelo Bondrat, but I'm not really on the list. All right. And at 10 years, Andy Brian Haig, Christine Randolphi, Dan Callahan, Dan Johnson, David Schwartzberg, Mike Randolphi, Nancy Kleber, and Mike Dashnaw. Congratulations to all of you, and thank you for this amazing legacy of service. It is truly appreciated. So the James E. West Award recognizes that a generous donation was made in the honor of Matt Morgan. So the council's highest commendation, the Silver Beaver Award, is bestowed upon Scouters who give truly noteworthy and extraordinary service to scouting at the council level. Potawatomi's own Mike Dashnaw has been selected to receive this honor in 2021. I was fortunate enough to work with Mike as a Scoutmaster for the last National Jamboree, and Mike is truly an amazing person. He'll receive his award at the council dinner, which will be held March 22nd at the Chevy Chase event site in Wheeling. And now I'd like to turn the podium over to John McConnell for the most important awards this evening, our District Awards of Merit.
Thank you, Marcelo. Ladies and gentlemen, we've come to the highlight of our evening, where we recognize our most dedicated servants of scouting, with the 2021 District Award of Merit. This is the highest honor a district can give a volunteer. The recipients of this award must be nominated by fellow volunteers. The nominees must be registered Scouters who have rendered outstanding service to youth at the unit, district, and council level. Nominations are reviewed by a committee composed of last year's District Award of Merit recipients. The number of recipients is determined by the number of units in our district. Tonight, we are honored to recognize 3 award winners. We will be awarding each recipient a certificate, an engraved plaque, and a square knot for their uniforms. Our first District Award of Merit recipient is Peter Hall.
I've made great friends from scouting, and I've had lots of opportunities, which have been huge confident builders. And I think scouting is one of the greatest things. I mean, I think it's such an opportunity that, and I hope it continues for many lifetimes. I mean, I think it's wonderful. I see scouting as a way to teach kids skills that you can never learn somewhere else. So it's fun. Plus, you get to go and do things that you never do at home or in your town. So, like when I was a kid, I had an older scout help me. His name is Paul Fischel, and he helped me get my star rank. I had a couple things to finish, and he helped me do it. And now he's my dentist. I mean, his father was my dentist, and his father retired, and he's my dentist. And it's like we still talk about scout stuff, and still, you have this community of people that, I know some people from when I was a kid, the scouts, like Sam Sibley. He was a big part of our group and still is, I like doing the parade. The parade is always fun. Our troop, we did newspaper drives. Think about doing that now, that would be ridiculous, but I don't know what my favorite part is. I mean, I like so much of it. I like the whole community of it. I love doing the rockets. I've enjoyed that so much. That is one of the silliest, it's a ridiculous, silly, fun thing to do with kids that they end up learning so much. They end up having such a great time from it. I like the service that Scout offers to some. I mean, there's some kids that we've had with scouting that this is their best situation they're in, is being part of Scouts. But, it's like a perfect equalizer. You could have the most wealthy family and the poorest family, and they're wearing the same uniform, and they're enjoying the same things, and I like it. That you have unlimited possibilities, and the only thing that can stop you is only you. You're going to get busy. You're going to have more sports you're doing. You're going to have more events. You're going to be more things pulling you in every direction. But you're going to look back at it as an adult and going, boy, I'm glad I did that. Number one, I'd like to thank my parents, because my father was very active in Scouts, but he could not have done that without my mom. And my parents have been amazing. And then so many Scouters that have been so great. I mean, Steve Applebaum, who was the Scoutmaster of Troop 16 when we first joined the group, he was such a good friend and such a great leader that you would do anything for him. And I was very sorry that we lost him, mean, I took him on his last camping trip with our troop. And it's really, you know, I can't believe it's been like 20 years now since he's passed. You know, there's been so many people. And with the swim program, there was a guy named Jim Highline. He went, I think, either 6 or 7 jamborees. And, you know, very active, better guy. He was the reason I stayed with the swim program so much. And then after he decided that he didn't want to run it anymore, after something like 50 years, he handed over to other people, but then he still volunteered there for maybe 5 more years. You know, there've been so many experiences, and you know, and there'll be so many more. I mean, you know, and I love being a part of scouting, and I expect to do it for a really long time.
(1999). He has served as Assistant Cub Master for Evanston Pack 916, Assistant Scoutmaster for Troop 916, and a committee member for Packs 916, 920, and 914. Peter's work as a new member coordinator has increased enrollment in Packs 916 and 904. He has been a camp leader at Makajuan for Troop 916. At the district level, Peter has been a unit commissioner for almost 20 years. His boundless energy has enabled many activities for Scouts. Since 2010, he has been an air and water rocket master at the NEIC Twilight Camp, as well as Cub Camporees and Pinewood Derbies. For many years, Peter was active in the Scouting Public Swim program at OLPH in Glenview, which has given hundreds of Potawatomi Scouts the opportunity to complete swimming requirements. Peter, congratulations. Please accept the gratitude of the entire Potawatomi district for your service to Scouting. Our next District Award of Merit recipient is Paul Bowerschmidt.
My older son has to be the one that really I would point at. You know, he's just made Eagle, and I've watched him develop dramatically, as all these guys do. It was interesting to see him and his other, you know, he's partnered up with another young scout, and they were trying to get one of these timberline A-frames together. And I was instructed pretty explicitly, like, you know, let them have a run at that and you know, focus on your own needs. And it was it was tough to watch. There was an adage that Rob Orr was a prior Scoutmaster from Troop 156, and he gave this adage to me, which was, you know, he would let the Scouts make a decision that was incorrect and let them run with it for pretty much as long as it took. And he had a neat story where they ended up on the wrong side of a mountain and things like this. When I started, I remember we were having a breakfast, a Scoutmaster breakfast we do once a month, kind of review the upcoming activities, and everyone is introducing themselves. And it gets to Warren Fellingham, and you know, and part of the introduction was, you know, your name and sort of, you know, what your background was in the troop. And Warren gets to Warren, he says, "My name's Warren Fellingham, and I've been involved in scouting longer than you've been alive." Which was okay, and he's right, he has. So it's that kind of thing. I had taken over some of the STEM training, you know, initially, and then I took IOLS, leadership training, and then I ran a couple of campouts, and that took me through maybe the first, you know, call it year and a half, and then that's Tom Totten was looking to retire as the prior Scoutmaster, and so he and Mike Lynch and Mark Dembski asked me to take over. So Mike Lynch was an active duty fireman, so they pulled, and he had a little spot in the fire hall, this little like sort of darkened office, and the three of them pulled me in for this sort of like untopic meeting, and kind of like, you know, in hushed tones asked me. I was like, "What are you? You're either here to knock me off or ask me to do something really big." The leaders of the organization instill a certain quality of the program and a culture of how you manage through various adverse, you know, issues that might come up. And I think that is something I've tried to carry forward in the way that I lead the organization. really to say like, okay, stuff will happen. We'll have to deal with it. We'll have to work through it. We have to trust in everyone's judgment, and we want to make sure that the guys are safe, but that they have that experience that pushes them to develop. Makajwan's very near and dear to our heart. At 156, we inhabit a campsite that we call North Camp. The troop lore is that we helped make it many years ago, but everyone else knows it as Whitney. And so we're up there weeks 5 and 6. But we also, we go up every worker weekend on Memorial Day, and we're the troop that puts in the docks around Lake Killian, so the 2 aquatics and EcoCon. And we like to make sure we provide service that way. And we were up, we visited Makajwan just a couple of weeks ago between Christmas and New Year's for what we call Winter Makajwan Campout. And Rory Fensel was kind enough to help clear out some of the snow on the way down to the cabins and get those warmed up. But it was amazing to be up there. We got to walk on the ice on Lake Killian. We rode fat tire bikes and did the snowshoeing. And then we also helped Rory with a little bit of the service project. He got a donation of wood that he needed to get off of a flatbed truck, so we moved wood for him for a few hours. So that was a good use of a lot of the scouts' time. Yeah, so we tried to do a high adventure every year. The troop went out to Philmont last year, and I was very lucky to have been able to be on that trek with my older son. I can't speak how highly of the program because of the way that you see these guys develop, and the way you see them turn from these little characters into very strong young men. Thank you so much for the award, and it's just very meaningful to me to get it.
Paul Bowerschmidt has been a Scoutmaster of Troop 156 Glenview Community Church since 2016. His direction of a Scout-led troop, maintenance of a strong outdoor program, ability to involve many adults as leaders, and his kindness, diligence, and patience resulted in his receiving the Unit Leader Award of Merit in 2018. Remember, those were the easy days? In the subsequent years, unprecedented challenges were to test Paul's drive and adaptability. In 2018, a fire forced the cancellation of the troop's Philmont trek. Paul led a trip to Isle Royale as an impromptu replacement adventure. A 2019 storm closed Makajwan the day before the troop's scheduled stay. Paul scrambled to make arrangements at 2 different scout camps to accommodate everyone who wanted to attend. Then 2020, COVID. Paul worked with Scout leadership to organize weekly Zoom meetings that maintained training and advancement. He continued his work to bridge the Cub Scout program with the Scouting BSA program. And he supported district and council initiatives with adult and youth participation in Klondike Derby, Scout Jam, First Aid Meets, and OA Workers Weekends in Makajwan. Nominators pointed out that Paul is a Scouter who exemplifies dedication and leadership in all facets of his life, and who truly lives by the Scout oath and law. Paul, congratulations. Please accept the gratitude of the entire Potawatomi District for your service to Scouting. Our final District Award of Merit goes to Kathleen Schmidt.
So, it has to be 6 or 7 years ago. We were at Troop 916, so we were at the farthest Chippewa, and they don't use it very often. And so we had pulled into camp, and the guys have been talking about, it'd be cool to see a bear, right? So then the one scout who was kind of not really into the camping trip or whatever, he spots a bear across the ravine from us. So then the scouts are walking towards the bear. And I'm like, where are you going? They're like, oh, it's not a grizzly bear, so it's safe. So I had a teachable moment where I said, bears are not safe to approach no matter what they are. So that was kind of amusing, but it was, and the kid who saw it then became really into going to camp, and he kept looking for a bear again and stuff like that. So he got really into camping. He was kind of up there, like his parents wanted him to go there, and he wasn't really into it and stuff until he saw the bear, and then he got into it. So, and then there was the time at Philmont when we did the cavalcade, and there was a troop from another, I think they were from Texas. They were hanging bear bags and put their tents underneath the bear bags. So yeah, that was kind of like our kind of joke for the rest of the time. And we ended up competing because they were going the opposite route that we did. And so we ended up competing with them at the end as well. But yeah, that was another fun thing. I'd always wanted to go to Philmont. My brothers had always went to Philmont. We actually ended up camping in the campsite next to the one that my brothers would camp at because there was a grave there, and that's how we know it's the same place they were at. So it was kind of like surreal. My mom was a den mother and then helped with Troop 31 before it folded. And so we've been always involved with scouting. I was a Girl Scout. I actually got my Gold Leadership Award. I got my Marion Service Award. I got my Silver Leadership Award. So I've been involved in Girl Scouts forever too, since a brownie, and my mom was also a Girl Scout leader with that for me. So we're like a Scout family. Funny story of how I got involved in the Boy Scouts here. After I went to college, I came back home. I moved back here, bought a house. I was doing the Evanston 4th of July parade. And I did that for like a couple of times. And then Dan Nishman and Chris Hersey approached me. They're like, hey, how would you like to be a Boy Scout commissioner? I'm like, okay, sure. So I joined the Boy Scouts then, right? And I was working with the PAC 904 at first, and then I started actually working with Troop 916. And I did some other, like I helped with Pinewood Derbies, and I did the Twilight Camp since it started. I would do the nature part of it, and then I did the rock wall. I have level 1 training, which means I can harness in the rock wall. I did oop pick and stuff like that. So then, not long after I was a commissioner, they approached me and said, hey, how about a roundtable commissioner? And I'm like, okay, sure. So I did that for a while. My favorite time was Philmont. That was my favorite Scout experience. And I love McCadgewin as well. McCadgewin's always been fun. I love doing whitewater rafting and everything like that. And McCadgewin camping out and stuff. So much that my daughters now go camping. I'm preparing them for Scouts. They'll be Scouts next year. And so we're going to be, they do camping already. They do hiking and nature. So we're getting all ready to do the scouting. I'm going to be a Scout mom and possibly a den leader if they need a female den leader for the female troop. For other leaders, just do what you can, do your best. Let the kids lead, because kids are more capable than you think. That let them lead, let them be in charge, and be there as kind of a guide, but don't try and take over. Let them make their own choices. And my daughters have already said they want to join scouting. They put on the uniform today and they're like, when are we joining? So yeah, I think just like do what you can and don't let it stress. You need to have fun too. As an adult leader, you need to have fun. The most important thing is to have fun with your kids. You know, don't make it overwhelming. And if it's overwhelming, take a step back and just all we can ask is do what you can. Kid, you're volunteers. So, or what, 1 hour a week, they say, right?
Katie Schmidt came to Scouting BSA as a holder of the Gold Leadership Award and Marion Service Award in Girl Scouts of America. For more than 10 years, Katie has been an active den leader and committee member in Evanston PACs 904, 916, and 920. She served as an assistant scoutmaster for Philmont Cavalcade in 2015. Katie has been a steadfast contributor to the Potawatomi District as unit commissioner, district committee member, and merit badge counselor. She achieved Wood Badge in 2012 and Commissioner's Key and Distinguished Commissioner Service Awards. Many of us know Katie because her willingness to step forward as an adult leader in council and district activities such as Twilight Camp, Klondike Derbies, Camporees, Pinewood Derbies, and Cubmobiles. It can be said that scouting has been a way of life for Katie Schmidt, and that's not going to change. We look forward to Katie assuming an additional role in scouting next year when her 3 daughters become Cub Scouts. Katie, congratulations, and please accept the gratitude of the entire Potawatomi District for your service to scouting. Thank you and congratulations again to all our 2021 District Award of Merit winners, and may we have a round of applause for all 3 of them, Peter, Paul, and Katie. If you believe someone in your unit deserves to be recognized by the District Award of Merit, please submit their name to the selection committee for 2022 by October of this year. Thank you again for joining us in celebrating our outstanding Scouters this evening. And now, Marcelo, please bring this evening to a close.
Thank you very much, John. I appreciate it, and what a wonderful example all 3 folks present to us. Truly amazing, truly wonderful. So the great part about being a Scoutmaster, I like all the rest of the roles I've played in scouting over the years, but I love being a Scoutmaster. And one of the great things about being a Scoutmaster is you always get to close the meeting with a Scoutmaster's Minute, which means you get just a second to suggest to the young men and young ladies that there are things that are bigger than them that they can think about. So here's my Scoutmaster's Minute for you. It's one of my all-time favorites, so I hope you enjoy it as much as I do. So this is called Everybody's Canoe. So there was a young Native American man who was busy at work carving a canoe out of a log. And as he worked, members of his tribe passed by. They all had a piece of advice to offer the young man. I think you're making your canoe too wide, one of them said. And the young brave, wishing to show respect for the advice of an elder, narrowed the canoe. A little later, another warrior stopped and said, I'm afraid that you're cutting your stern too full. Again, the young brave listened to the advice of the elder and cut down the stern. Very soon, yet another member of the tribe stopped, watched for a while, and then commented, the bow is too sheer. So the young brave accepted this advice as well and changed the line of the bow. Finally, the canoe was complete and the young brave launched it. As soon as it hit the water, it capsized. So laboriously, he hauled it back onto the beach. Then he found another log and he began his work anew. Very soon, a member of his tribe stopped by to offer some advice. But this time, the young brave was ready. You see that canoe over there, he asked, pointing to the useless craft on the beach. That is everybody's canoe. Then he nodded at his work in progress and he said, this is my canoe. What I hope for all of you is that you continue to work on your canoe and you enjoy and participate in being a volunteer in scouting. What a wonderful opportunity we have to make a difference in the life of young people in this world right now. Thank you. I hope you have a wonderful evening. It was great to be your host tonight. Congratulations to all the award winners. You are making a difference, and we do truly appreciate what you've done for us and for the youth in scouting. Good night.